This is a discussion of the diagnosis of acute mixed mania and mixed hypomania. So mixed episodes involve concurrent or rapidly alternating symptoms of depression and mood elevation. And the way these were organized in DSM-4 included a requirement that there was both a full manic and a full depressive episode at the same time. So patients had to meet criteria for mania and have 5 symptoms of depression. And this had to be severe. It had to entail psychosis, hospitalization, or marked social or occupational impact. And there was an exclusion for secondary episodes. Now, it turns out that mixed episodes are important for a number of reasons, including them having associations with multiple negative illness characteristics compared to pure episodes. And so we see an excess of things that are considered unfavorable, including earlier onset, more depression, more rapid cycling, suicidality, impulsivity, and comorbidity. And we see a decrease in things that we would consider desirable, like response to treatment and medication adherence. So these mixed states are clinically important. The way DSM-4 approached mixed states was to only have a mixed episode as the only construct, and this involved a full manic and a full depressive episode at the same time. This was considered by many to be too restrictive, and in particular, it did not address the issue of a full manic episode plus, say, 2 or 3 depressive symptoms at the same time instead of 5. This was called dysphoric mania and was basically not included in the DSM-4. Another thing not included in the DSM-4 was when patients had a full depressive episode and had at least a couple of manic symptoms, and so in the DSM-5, a major depressive episode with mixed features was derived to address that. Also omitted from the DSM-4 was concurrent hypomania with any degree of depressive symptomatology. So there are a number of things missing from the DSM-4, and the latter type of episode that I mentioned, the so-called mixed hypomania, had a number of illness characteristics that suggested that it was different from pure hypomania as well. So in DSM-5, in order to address this, a schema was set up where a specifier for the presence of opposite pole symptoms was determined. This is called with mixed features. And this was permitted to be applied to not only hypomanic and manic episodes, but also depressive episodes. And these depressive episodes, or mixed depressions, could occur in major depressive disorder as well as bipolar disorder. So a substantial broadening of the concept, if you like, of mixity. However, there were no longer any mixed episodes. Okay, these were replaced by hypomanic or manic episodes with mixed features. So the way the hypomanic or manic episode with mixed features specifier works is that you need a full hypomanic or manic episode and at least 3 pervasive depressive symptoms. Now, there's a little bit of debate whether the threshold should be at 2 or 3, but DSM-5 decided it needed to be 3. And these are the permitted depression symptoms. These so-called overlapping depression symptoms that were not considered to be polarity specific were excluded amongst the count of the depressive symptoms that would count towards, say, a hypomanic or manic episode with mixed features. So this is a way of looking at symptoms that is still evolving. We have the idea that manic symptoms are in some ways almost a mirror image of depressive symptoms, and some of these things segregate pretty easily and don't overlap. However, we do have an overlapping middle where several types of symptoms are considered non-specific or shared, And for that reason, when you're looking at with mixed features, they get excluded. So looking at some of the main changes for bipolar and related disorders in DSM-5 compared to DSM-4, we have this with mixed features specifier. So we can have a manic episode with mixed features. We can have a hypomanic episode with mixed features. In another one of these presentations, we saw we could have a major depressive episode with mixed features. And since we have those kind of episodes, there is no longer a mixed episode in DSM-5. This has been replaced by a manic episode with mixed features. So in conclusion, the diagnosis of acute mixed mania and hypomania depends on concurrent mood elevation and depressive symptoms. And these can occur in different patterns. They can be concurrent, that's both at the same time in real time, or they can occur in some kind of ultra rapid cycling where there's a lot of mood lability. These mixed states are associated with negative illness characteristics. And new in DSM-5, we have the hypomanic or manic episode with mixed features, and therefore the mixed episode is gone in DSM-5. And importantly, when you're considering these mixed features, the overlapping, that is, symptoms that could occur either in depression or mood elevation, those kind of symptoms are excluded from consideration for the DSM-5 with mixed features criteria.